Hey, how
Hi,
are you today, sir?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
I'm doing just fine. I was hoping we could get a little bit of your time just to share some information. I know your time is valuable, but I believe the information we have to share with you is equally as valuable. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, we're with Apple products, and we'd like to talk to you specifically about a small business account with Apple.
Hmm.
I think we have some really cool stuff to share with you, and I think my associate Braden over here is going to start us off.
Okay.
Yep, sounds good. Kind of looking into what Apple at Work is. Uh, Basically, we just kind of offer different business solutions for small businesses to help your business basically just run more smoothly and efficiently. We do this kind of by adding different device management, security, collaboration, and productivity tools. Kind of looking more closer into our business features. First, we can take a look at our device management. And the kind of this is where I wanted to ask you a question about if you ever had any problems with kind of setting up devices. Maybe you had like a Microsoft computer and then you also have like an Android phone, and if that ever like is an annoyance to you.
For my company I have right now, my employees kind of use different devices. So I'm kind of looking for something that's more streamlined and uniform. I mean, they can have their own personal phone. I'm looking for work phones and other
Hmm.
devices, laptops, desktops, et cetera, et cetera. I, short story, when I work with companies that and businesses that are primarily Apple users, I primarily use my Android, and they would say, "Why don't you have an iPhone?" And then I have when I work with other companies that primarily use, other devices and Androids. They say, well, why don't you have an Android phone? So I have one of each to make sure to kind of
Yep.
appease to
Hmm.
all businesses, but at the same time, it's getting costly, and I don't see the need for it. If you do good business with people, I don't think the phone should matter or something like that should matter. I think it's really about the service that you provide.
Absolutely. I think Apple kind of helped solve a lot of those different problems of having
Hmm.
different devices and things like that because they kind of incorporated something called like Apple ID, which is
Hmm.
essentially like kind of like your just social security number in a way for Apple devices. So it doesn't matter if you sign in on your iPhone, iPad, or iMac. All your information is shared on all of them, so you can use whatever device whenever. Um, and it's kind of all stored through the iCloud storage, which is just our big filing system for the company. And then I also wanted to touch on our big feature that we just added, which is Apple Care Plus and support. It's just our kind of extended warranty, 24/7 support. One of the great features on it is if you ever, I know personally, after like about a year of having my phone or so, the battery life kind of starts to die. If your battery ever dips below like 80%, they'll give you a replacement battery, which is great. I think the cost is about $6.99 for your first device, and then uh, more devices on top of that. You just keep uh, adding more. And I think Hunter, we're going to talk about going into some of our different products.
Yeah, we've got a lot of really cool products that would help you streamline your business. Uh, be more, obviously, I can tell you bring a certain level of professionalism to the office. And as someone who does business, I appreciate that. And I know the people you do business with also appreciate that. But I'm here to help you make it a little bit easier. So we have a few products that'll really help you. Obviously, we have our Apple Business account, which this would all go under. And essentially, what that is, it doesn't cost you anything to make. You just make a password, give it an email, Apple ID helps, and just your tax number for your business, and that sets it up. And essentially it's a loyalty rewards program, like at a grocery store. The more you buy with us, the more you become a member of our Apple family. The more rewards you're going to get. Now, Apple products, you get what you pay for in business, especially as a small business. You can't really cut corners. Everybody says that, especially about our products, and they have amazing quality. I'm going to start here with our Macs. Those are kind of the Mac Daddy for businesses. We have a MacBook Air, which is a cheaper option. Gives you all the essentials you'll need. Nothing too fancy, none of the extra bells and whistles, but it just gives you everything you need. It's $9.99, so it's fairly pricey, but it is one of our cheaper models. We also have that in the 13 and the 15 inch. The 15 inch is $12.99, a little bit more expensive, has a little bit nicer casing. The MacBook Pro, now that's what has all the bells and whistles. They has Ultra Retina XDR display, ProMotion technology, nanotechnology, which essentially all that means is we're just making it as a pleasant an experience for you as the consumer as possible. But the MacBook Pro is $1,599, and the MacBook Pro 16-inch, which is a slightly bigger version than the 14-inch, is $2,499. Now, if I may ask, sir, do you currently use a laptop or do you currently use a PC to work off of?
Both.
Both? Okay. So we also actually have another option for you is the iMac, and that is $12.99, and it's a huge, beautiful display with it's top notch. It goes just directly into your computer, so it wouldn't have essentially be a MacBook, but it's a beautiful display monitor. Now going into the iPad, that's we have three models for that as well. We have the iPad, the iPad Air, and the iPad Pro. Now, those are great for being on the move. If you're mobile, say you're on a plane, in a car, whatever you're doing, you got to pop off some business. You can do it there and still have spacious, so you're not crammed in on a phone. Our three prices are $349, $599, and $999. The iPad Standard, the iPad Air, which is essentially a smaller, condensed version of the iPad with a few extra bells and whistles, and the iPad Pro, which is a lot like the MacBook Pro, where it's got all the good stuff in there, and it's $999. And lastly, feel like had 80 to 85% of America has this, and that is the iPhone. iPhone 16 and the iPhone 16 Pro both come in a multitude of colors. iPhone 16 comes in blue, green, pink, white, and black, and it is priced at $800. And the iPhone 16 Pro comes in brown, gray, white, and black, and that comes in at starts at $999. So you have access to all these different accounts, or excuse me, all these different devices. And the more you start to buy on this Apple account with us, the more discounts you're going to get. Once you hit $5,000 spent over however long the time you're with us, you're going to see significant discounts. And with our products, that's like gold, essentially. Moving on, another thing we have to offer here at Apple is our security and privacy. Something that we pride ourselves on, and the boys in the lab really pride themselves on, is the end-to-end encryption we have. So essentially all that means is when you send a text message or an email to somebody, that can't get hacked by anybody outside that conversation that's not you or that person. The only way that private conversation, anybody finds anything about it, is if the person you're texting has a loud mouth. And believe me, I know a couple people like that. And then this is a staple at Apple on both our iPhones and iPads, but we have Face and Touch ID, which no one's getting into your phone unless you want them to get in your phone, essentially. And it's great. If you're like me, I forget my password all the time. So it's easy for me to get back into the iPhone and make a new password. It automatically updates for you, so you don't have to worry about falling behind the times, and you don't have to worry about scheduling it. And one of the neat things about our automatic updates is they do it during the night. So you don't have to worry about not having access to your phone because it's doing it while you're sleeping. Mm-hmm. And the last thing, and I think this is the most important thing as far as our security goes, is it has malware protection already in our systems. So you don't have to worry about getting extra one. Now you can, that's optional. But as long as you don't, and you don't seem like the kind of guy that's going to any websites and trying to buy stuff off of shady websites, as long as you're smart with it, you're protected. Apple's got you covered. And lastly, I just want to go over simple integration. You mentioned this, Braden mentioned this. All you need to do is come up with an Apple ID, and it is streamlined across all your devices. And all you got to remember is the login to that Apple ID. They're really easy to set up. I am absolutely terrible with technology, and I was able to set it up on my own. Normally, I'm calling my nephew, who's a kid, and he knows all about this stuff, and I was able to do it on my own. And so that really surprised me. Apple's shown to be a winner with us. That's how simple integration is. You're not breaking the mold if you become a success story with our products. You're going to be one of hundreds of thousands of businesses across the United States that are successful with our products. And lastly, we're staying up to date with the modern era. That's our values as a company and with our products. I mean, why we release we're on the iPhone 16, and it's for a reason. Anytime we think of anything cool we can add to the products, we do it, and we keep it up to date. Okay. So, and yes, you like I said, you get what you pay for, but I can personally guarantee you are going to spend less money than the Mets just spent on Juan Soto. I mean, that guy's getting half the bank account. So my partner Dylan's going to wrap it up here for us and take it away, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the success stories, there were former roommates, Noah Lee and Dan Jensen, and they started that sock club together to share their love of socks. And basically, I'm not going to go through these stories super, in depth, but they were able to start this company and become a success story, and that's not just become that's just not just because of the you know. Just because of them, they were able to use this technology and they were able to use us to become better. And we love seeing that. We love seeing just people become more successful. And that's great because being able to have the ability to help people and be able to make them better, that truly just makes us feel good because now we can look at this story and we realize like, wow, these people's lives became better because of our products. And that's what we were meant to do in the beginning. I mean, Apple was built to make people, for life to become better and everything to become a little bit easier for everyone. And so that just, being able to just scan QR codes. I mean, if you were to talk about that 15 years ago, I don't think anyone would be like, oh yeah, that we know exactly what that is super well. And now we can use this little device in our hand that has the entire world that we can see anything we want to see. And it can, and now we can scan and we can go to any website. And and going back to iPads and going back to our technology, what I really think, can we go to the next slide, please? It would be
Yeah, absolutely.
thank you. So obviously, yeah, now it's your turn. But what I want to say is, if we can go back to that, is being a small business, there's a lot of really, really difficult things to deal with. Being a business that, I'm guessing, you travel a lot. Would that be a true statement?
Yeah.
Yeah. Traveling a lot is hard. And one thing that I think I really like about our Apple products is how easily that you could travel with them. You're not lugging around some 10-pound thing. Even though a computer that's not Apple might, weigh only a couple pounds more, I'm telling you, putting that in a briefcase and walking around an entire airport with that just alone is very difficult, and then having your laptop, a cool feature that Apple now has is being able to open up your Mac laptop and you can be right next to it and easily just press one singular button, and now you have a two-screen computer that you can put all of your product on. And that can be while you're at the airport sitting somewhere. That can be anywhere. You don't need a desk for that. And that's very, very nice. That can make a lot of things more simple for you. And so that makes us feel good. But for me, as a my mom owns small business, and I've always seen her get frustrated with bigger companies because it makes them feel like they aren't that she isn't doing enough, and or that they aren't going to help her at all because she's just giving them this amount of money and they're this amount of money. And so what Apple is really, really, really attempting to do with all of our programs is being able to absolutely work on customer service. We have a massive customer service, make sure that everyone feels heard because we want them to. And that can, really help us help you in the long run.
I see what you're saying here. You mentioned you have a lot of products, but I didn't get a chance to see any of the products that you offer. Now, again, I'm familiar with Apple, but not as familiar as you guys would be. So I would like to kind of get an idea what these products look like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So how about this? Let's schedule a time next week so which we can talk and I can get better pricing and get it, kind of bundles. And you mentioned, spend 5,000, the price kind of, I get better benefits, pricing, and stuff like that. So let's set up a early time next week. Let's chat. In the meantime, send me some kind of pricing categories that I can kind of work with because I need to talk to my employees to see what they want. Do they want to go this route? Do they want to stay with what they're working with now? So, but I'm looking forward to possibly making changes before the end of the new year. So Let's meet up or at least have a conversation Monday or Tuesday of next week. How's that sound?
Sounds
Sounds good.
great.
Is there
Okay.
any other you have for us today, sir?
No, I do not. No, I appreciate all the information you've given me. And I look forward to talking to you guys next week.
Thank you, sir. You have a
Okay.
nice day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.